Hello, everybody. I am back yet again, and I have something a little bit more drama, more internet culture related than real life events related. I needed a break from the stress of politics and everything, so I decided to give myself some secondhand cringe by watching the Ned Fulmer. Fulmer? Is that his name? Ned Fulmer? Oh god, hold on. Let me make sure I have that right. Ned Fulmer. Yeah, Ned Fulmer. Listen, I was not a Try Guys person. I did not watch the Try Guys. But like every other person on the internet at the time, when this scandal broke, which apparently was 3 years ago now, which is insane to me. Like, holy fuck, what is time? But for those of you who may not be aware, Ned Fulmer was one of the Try Guys, which were very popular. They got their start on BuzzFeed. They were one of the groups that managed to break away from BuzzFeed, as far as I understand, and make their own company and brand, essentially. That's basically who the Try Guys are. And 3 years ago now, Ned Fulmer was outed for having an affair with one of their employees. On top of, having a fucking affair, cheating on your wife, and I think they had kids. Cheating on your wife, bad. Cheating on your wife with your employee, even worse. I don't remember exactly how all of this came out. I think he got spotted out with the employee, but again, don't quote me on that. It's been 3 years. And now Ned Fulmer has returned, and he's returned with something I honestly never could have expected. Yeah, I guess they're just going to discuss everything, and I really wanted to watch this with you guys and give my opinions, my reactions. So here we are. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Oh boy. This is going to be cringy.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer. 3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer. It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I betrayed my spouse, coworkers, friends, family, and I betrayed you. And I know it's not just about cheating, that I was a company owner and having a relationship with a producer who was engaged and friends with all of our friends and coworkers. It was understandably a messy and devastating situation for everyone involved.
It's interesting because he's saying the right things, I guess, but there's something about his tone that makes him seem very disingenuous. That may be just me. I don't know. There's something weird about the way he's talking right now.
I hope to make amends over time. And one step is to publicly witness the pain of my partner, Ariel.
I guess a part of me really wants to know, did she want to do this? I guess maybe we'll find out, but right now, I'm not totally sure if she wanted to do this or not, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
She can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this. So this is that. This is a conversation where we answer your questions. We share what we've been up to these last 3 years and what you can expect from us moving forward. It's about an hour long.
Okay, so obviously at its core, this is them wanting to get back into making content, making money, and they need to build a platform for him now, I guess, completely separate from the Try Guys. So I understand what's happening here. I just think it's really weird. I do. I think it's really weird. Like, if this is what you want to do, go for it. The vibes here are atrocious. That's all I will say. And we haven't even gotten to the podcast yet.
Please join me for this conversation with Ariel Fulmer. Well, here we are.
Back again.
again. Feels weird. Feels a little awkward.
Yeah. Back in a podcasting room.
Yeah.
I mean, we've certainly had a lot of conversations where we've sat like this.
Yeah, that's true.
But not, conversations that are meant for the public.
Mm-hmm. Is it strange to think that people are watching this and listening to it rather than just being in like a therapy setting?
Oh, heck yeah. It's, I mean, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm on the verge of like standing up and walking out of this room. Absolutely.
Same.
Two things. Definitely getting the vibe that she doesn't want to do this already. And second, him saying same, like, sir, you're the one who cheated. You're the one who cheated. So calm down, calm down, calm down. Yeah. Her saying she wants to walk out of the room within the first like minute of the podcast doesn't give me much hope. I'm just gonna be real with you. Oh boy.
Yeah, we've kind of been just keeping our lives very private for the last 3 years.
We have.
And just almost hiding from the world.
We have been hiding. We've been hiding from the world. And I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of great.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of great to be super private.
And to the extent that we're kind of moving forward in our lives, that's something that you've talked about. It's like, how can I move forward in my life without people knowing the next part of my story if they're still stuck on the 2022 part of my story?
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? And that's the whole reason that we're here, because we're stuck in 2022.
Yeah, at least as far as they know.
Exactly. we have moved on with our lives.
Yeah, we've moved on for a while
We
now.
have moved on with our lives.
How many times have they said that they have moved on with their life by now? It's getting to the point where I'm starting to think that they haven't actually moved on with their life. You know what I mean? Like, methinks the lady doth protest too much kind of deal. You know, you keep saying that you've moved on. And now I'm starting to doubt you. You've said it so many times now that I'm like, have you though? And maybe this is part of the moving on process. It could be on multiple different levels. I understand why they're doing it, you know, from the sort of financial level of it's been 3 years. They probably need to start making money again if they want to continue living a comfortable lifestyle. And they are probably just ready to put this shit to bed. But at the same time, I feel like no one was really thinking about this, you know? Like, now everyone's talking about it again. People are thinking about it again. When most people, the actual world, had moved on, these two brought it back up again. So it's begging the question of who's really moved on and who has stayed stuck in 2022. Is the world stuck in 2022 like they seem to think? Or are they stuck in 2022? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm leaning towards they might still be stuck in 2022 dealing with this affair. And maybe they should have done a few more therapy sessions before doing a podcast. Did they run this past their therapist? I want to know if they told their therapist they were going to do a podcast and post it. Because they mentioned going to therapy. So I assume they have a couples therapist or something, right? Did the therapist say this was a good idea? I kind of want to know. All right, let's keep going.
We're still stuck in 2022.
Yeah.
And, you know, that brings us to the whole reason that we're here and the reason that we can't walk out of this room, because we live in a social world, right? And we can't move on with our lives if we don't, you know, move on publicly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's a really strange thing, actually, like that we can't do anything publicly without kind of addressing this first.
well, yeah, I mean, in 2022, it got so big, right? The whole scandal, it grew and grew and grew and grew, to the point where it just became this thing that just like got so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just sort of hid away from it.
Obviously, to them, this. Also, I love how they keep calling it the scandal. The other thing is, obviously, the scandal, the affair, is a huge deal to them, even 3 years later. It's still a big deal in their relationship. It's still a big factor. It's still very relevant to them. It is not relevant to the world, however. The average person was no longer thinking about your affair, the scandal. Maybe diehard fans of the Try Guys were. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, because why would they be at this point? But I'm trying to be very generous here and look at this as they're doing this podcast for themselves for the most part. This is for their relationship. This is for them to put this to bed, and maybe they felt they needed to do it publicly. I don't think this is for the audience, I guess. I don't really know that this is for the people. This is really for them. It's to serve them in likely a financial way, obviously, but also maybe in a way that is perhaps to finally truly put this to bed, because I don't think they have actually put this to bed. I don't think they have actually moved on. I think this is their attempt to finally move on. Because, again, in September of 2025, who among us was thinking about the try guy who had an affair 3 years ago? Raise your hand if that was you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Again, this is definitely something that would still be very relevant for them, but I think they are mistaken in thinking that it was very relevant for the world still.
Right. But even like going out in public with like my kids or just going out to dinner or something like that.
Okay, they do have kids. That does make this a little bit worse, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Also, I forgot that the woman was engaged. I don't know if I said that earlier, but he mentioned that in the beginning, and I also just straight up forgot that the producer that he was cheating on his wife with was also engaged. Yeah, this thing had layers, bro. This thing had fucking layers. Ooh. Oh my god. The image that is burned into my head is of the other 3 try guys sitting next to each other, looking at the camera and like just, oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. You know the image I'm talking about. There it is. There it is. This one right here. 2 years ago, 13 million views. All 3 of them sitting in a row. Just look at this. The look on their faces, bro. Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys. By now, we're assuming you've seen the Reddit threads and TikToks.
No longer working with the Try Guys. By now, we're assuming you've seen the Reddit threads and TikToks and tweets and news articles. We want to give you a timeline of what's transpired and some transparency into our decision making. Throughout this video, there will be things that we want to say or go into further, but as I'm sure you're aware, there are some legal issues we have to consider as we go through everything.
On Labor Day weekend, multiple fans alerted us that they had seen Ned and an employee engaging in public romantic behavior. We reached out to check on that employee. Ned confirmed the reports and since confirmed that this had been going on for some time, which was obviously very shocking to us, and we just want you to know that we had no idea this was going on.
Like, the ray of emotions here, from absolutely fucking pissed off to like just devastated, brokenhearted, and just trying to keep it cool, trying to keep it together, trying to get through this video. I can't. Oh man, dude. And this was a moment, I will say that. 13 million views. That's more fucking views than they have subscribers, dude. Jesus Christ. I'm sure that's like normal for them, but holy fuck. I guess we could find out if that's normal for them. Probably not normal for them now, but back then I would imagine it was probably pretty normal for them. I'm getting really off topic, dude. Yeah, popular videos. 27 million views, 23 million views, yeah. 19 million views. Not so much anymore. Yeah, there's just 2 of them now, right? Let's get back to this. Alrighty. Back into the brink we go.
I want to have regular friends, and I don't want to like walk up to somebody that I want to be friends with at like preschool and have to start every conversation with like, my personal life is a dumpster fire, as I'm sure you know, but also, do you want to be friends with me? You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have some really authentic friendships that have started that way. But like, I don't want to go about my life starting friendships like that.
Again, when a normal person has an affair, in order to move on from it, they, either go to therapy with their partner, work it out, I guess, somehow, and continue on with their lives. And maybe they don't really talk about it that much, right? Like, they're not talking about it to every person they meet on the street. So it's really interesting to me that she's like, I don't want to approach people and be like, my personal life is a dumpster fire. Like, you don't have to do that. I would wait until someone else brought it up. Maybe that's just me, but I wouldn't be bringing it up. I just be like, if someone asks me about it, then sure, I'll answer the question, I guess. But I'd prefer it if people just didn't talk about it, you know? So, hee hee ha ha, I don't know. It's just interesting to me.
Instagrams. I'm like, well,
Right?
here's mine, but a couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two, all of this is pretty outdated. And three, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want to
get to
Google
know me
me.
first.
I know he's making a joke here, but like, if you say don't Google me, the first thing I'm doing when I get home is Googling your ass, okay? If you say, hey man, don't Google me, the very first thing I'm doing the moment you walk away, motherfucker, is typing in Ned Fulmer. I wonder what comes up if you type in Ned Fulmer. I want to test my own theory here. So just typing in Ned Fulmer. Right now, what comes up, and I'm going to specifically go to the news tab here. What comes up? Right now, you have all the stuff about the fucking podcast that they did, right? Shocker. This podcast was posted 3 days ago. So before 3 days ago when he fucking started this shit, all right? July 21st, 2025 was the last time an article was posted about him. And it was, the internet loves getting cheaters fired, but I worry we're missing the point. Before that, where is Ned Fulmer now? Try Guy scandal resurfaces in viral tweet amid astronomer CEO Andy Byron's resignation over Coldplay incident. Okay. So it came up once during the Coldplay concert shit earlier this year. And then before that, May 9th. The Try Guys have announced that Ned Fulmer is no longer working with them. Dexerto. Try Guys reveal YouTube channel is not doing well after second try launch. February 11th, 2025. Before that, 2024. Where are the BuzzFeed stars now? Before that, October 2nd, 2024. Try Guys reveal why Eugene left the group. Da-da-da-da-da. More stuff about the Ned stuff. That was in 2024. My point being, no one was talking about this. Up until the Andy Byron shit earlier this year, when it did come up a little bit because of a viral tweet. Before that, no one was talking about him and his scandal until 3 days ago when they posted this podcast. Everyone had moved on, bro. Everyone but them had moved on, okay? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Challenging thing is it's been complicated for a while. I mean, we are still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
Like, you know, there's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Okay, I guess they did break up. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. It's kind of unclear. I'm getting, from this, I'm getting that they are no longer together. But, you know, they're co-parenting. Obviously makes sense. They're not together, but they're co-parenting. That's what I got from this. Which, good for her if she did leave him, because don't stay with that man.
People ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And I mean, the answer is no, absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you? No, fuck no. I don't even, sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no.
Okay. Yeah, she did see red for a minute there. She was gone for a second. She was like, like she she was having like war flashbacks for a second there. What the hell? No. Oh my god. Okay. Well, now we know. Now we know where they all stand. They're not together, and she does not forgive him. I think we can end this podcast here, guys.
I mean, I found out about your affair from the fans. I mean, and I was so blindsided that somebody sent me a picture, and I couldn't. It was like my brain couldn't compute And it's like, for some reason, I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister. And I remember sending it to you and being like, what's your sister doing in New York? It was, and I think back on that and I think, like, what was I, like, how did I not see what was going on? Like, what was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like, the picture was right there in front of me.
All jokes aside, that is so upsetting to find out that your husband is cheating on you from your fans. People are so insane. Like, people should not have been sending her that, you know? I like, at the end of the day, I don't think it is. She would have found out, whether it be from people in her life bringing it to her or from her seeing it online herself somehow. But I just think that people sending the picture to her DMs and shit and being like, your husband's cheating on you is so awful. I could never do that, I guess. I've never had a desire to do that. I've never had a... Like, it's different telling, like, one of my friends or something that I have proof of their partner cheating on them, you know? Like, that's a different situation, I think, than telling a person I do not know that their partner is cheating on them and sending them the picture that I just got off the internet myself. Just, ooh, I don't know. That's awful. That's really awful. That's so awful, dude. I hate that for her, truly. And then the part where she's like, what's your sister doing in New York? Oh, man. Dude, that first stage of grief, I don't know, man. I guess just straight to denial. Is denial the first stage of grief? I think it is, right?
And then after everything happened, I sort of went into this, like, this weird state where, like, nothing was safe and nothing and nobody, like, I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust the public. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust my friends. I just stayed inside, like, because there were cameras everywhere. You know, it was like, it was so unsafe. Everything was unsafe. Yeah, it took a long time to like get back to myself.
I really feel like she hasn't regained that sense of security, and I'm not sure doing this podcast is going to help. Again, it's only bringing this topic back into the forefront again. You're going to have people talking about it again in a new political landscape and environment, and I just don't think it's going to be healthy for either one of them. That's crazy. That really sucks. I genuinely feel bad for her, and I genuinely hate Ned for this because, yeah, I mean, not only did you cheat on your spouse, not only did you ruin your relationship, but it also had this effect where it made her feel completely unsafe because of all of the people taking pictures of them, all of the people sending the pictures, basically just how involved the public was in their life. And it makes sense that she would feel very unsafe in that scenario when that kind of becomes very apparent to her, like suddenly something that she can't really ignore. Suddenly she realizes how involved the public is in her life and in her relationship. It makes sense that she would feel violated in some way. It just sucks that I don't think she's regained that sense of security at all.
Because we had just, found out that we were dealing with this, with this cheating situation, with this betrayal, we decided to find a new couples therapist, right?
Right.
And so we were driving to our new couples therapist.
So were they already seeing a couples therapist then? I'm just wondering, because that implies that there were other issues in their relationship as well, which isn't surprising, but I'm just curious. And I don't know, that's what I got from that. When they say that they got a new couples therapist, that implies that they were seeing another one, but I can't tell if they were seeing one before the cheating became public or after, and then they just decided to change again.
There was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you, as the person doing that, sort of are telling yourself as to why it's not so bad, or why it's going to be okay, or why actually this talked about it in this way. And then it's like, I remember that moment, it all just kind of like fell down, where I
totally could see how devastated and just completely traumatized you were. And then it was just like, oh, everything changed for me as well. I'm like, oh no, this is like I've been hurting this person that I love this whole time.
You didn't realize until then.
Well, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of.
Oh. Oh. I mean, I was thinking it too, but I didn't think she would say it. Oh. Oh my god. And him trying to explain himself. Ah! This is awful. You guys, I am literally under a blanket right now, cowering. I'm not sure I can keep going. Oh my god. Okay, let's push through. Push through. Push through. Push through. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Sort of.
Yo, what the fuck? Interesting. To like the wide shot too, with them just like both of them.
The wild thing is that this was something that you had done.
Mhm.
You know, like I had no part in this. This was not like, you could even say that you had done this to me. You know? Like
Yeah.
I was the victim of this situation. And yet when you told me, I had to like accept your guilt and your shame. And in our like society where couples are, especially married couples, like when men have affairs, women are often looked at as like, well, what did you do wrong? And it's so hard to get out from under that.
This is a fair point she is making. This is not uncommon at all for people to be like, well, you must have been doing something that made him cheat, you must have not been fulfilling his needs or whatever. So I'm sure she got some of that in the aftermath of their affair, which is just completely unfair to her and absolutely makes the situation worse for her, obviously. But that sucks. That's just misogyny, straight up foremost. The patriarchy doing its thing. This whole situation is just really shitty for her. And I feel like she's doing a lot of talking here, and Ned's doing a lot of nodding along, because I don't think that he actually necessarily feels these things, other than the fact that he wants to pretend like he feels these things. And he's like, yeah, I definitely totally agree with everything you're saying right now. That's totally what I was feeling. That's totally what happened. Yep. You're right. You're so right, girl. Like, okay. I'd like to hear some of this from his own mouth, I guess,
How does it make you feel to hear that? I mean, did it ever occur to you that like not only did you having an affair just it shattered our marriage, but it also, like, all of that guilt and shame, you like hoisted that on me. Like, you gave that to me. And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true. And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really like let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like, how could you do that? And it's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that. Because there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
I won't judge him too hard because I don't know Ned at all, so this could just be how he is. He may not be a very emotive person, but I do feel like he's not being completely genuine. And again, that could just be me and my opinion of him, but when I hear him talk about this stuff and I hear him say, like, I definitely feel really bad about how I've made you feel or what I've done to you, it just feels like he's just saying it. It feels like he's just saying it so that he can get through this conversation. And I feel like she kind of realizes that too in some of her responses to him, where she just kind of nods and is like, okay, interesting. To me, that comes off as her also kind of getting that vibe from him that he's not really being as emotionally open as she would hope. I don't know. That's the vibe I get. That's the vibe I get.
When did things start to feel a little more safe for you?
I think as I just got more comfortable talking to people about like what happened, and they just seemed to not care.
Yeah.
You know, like it just wasn't a big deal.
It is kind of funny. It's like the whole, internet and people making TikToks seem to care so much.
So they acknowledge that normal people don't give a fuck about this, right? So why are we doing this podcast? I know he's about to say it's for the online people who are doing all sorts of TikToks and shit about it. But again, I did show you, at the very least, the news was not talking about it. There were not any articles from any blog sites or any drama sites or whatever like that were talking about it until they did this podcast. Which is why I say this is really just for them, but also it's for them to start making money again. It's been 3 years. They probably need to start making money again for their kids, for their family, even though they're not together. They still have to raise their kids. They still need to pay for all of that. But on the other hand, I do think that, is her name Ariel? Is far more genuine in this conversation than Ned. I did hear some genuine remorse in Ned in that last conversation that they just had. But overall, I still think that he is not super connected here. He's not super invested in this past trying to move on from the situation publicly.
Everyone has some way to relate to some sort of a cheating story.
Just like all the parents at Wes's school, or, they're like, either they don't know or they don't give a flying fuck. They're like, yeah, who cares? They're like, it's one of many scandals. Like, also it was 3 years ago. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I feel. They're like, they're sort of like.
That's kind of how I feel, but I wasn't gonna say it, but she just did. So, for real, I don't think we needed to do this. I'm just saying, I really think this could have just moved on. He could have came back with a podcast about anything, okay? He did not have to sit down with his ex-wife. They didn't say they were divorced, so I don't know if they're truly exes in that sense, but they're not together. They're separated at the very least, so.
I'm sure every marriage or relationship has a story as to how it breaks down.
Okay, he's coping a little bit there. He keeps saying everyone has a cheating story they can relate to, or everyone has a relationship breaking down that story that they can tell or whatever. And it's like, sure, people have been in relationships that have ended. Not everyone's relationship ends because someone cheated, though. That's not how every relationship ends. Sometimes people just realize they're not compatible or they don't have the same goals or whatever, But not everyone ends their long ass fucking relationship with their wife of however many years with multiple children together because they cheated. That's not everybody, Ned. That's not everyone.
Right.
Where people are like, oh my God, are they back together?
Right.
Just because I'm like having a joyful time with my kids and my ex-husband, like.
Okay, she said ex-husband there, so maybe they are divorced. I would hope they are divorced. I'm glad that they're able to co-parent. I'm glad that they're able to be cordial with each other. I think that is important for their children. Obviously, not everyone can do that, but if you can, I think that is definitely beneficial for your children overall to see that your parents can separate and still remain cordial with each other, can still have a good relationship.
Life is weird sometimes.
Yes, we travel together. We have a familial relationship.
I just get the vibe that they feel weird about it and they feel like people are judging them, but most people don't give a fuck and most people don't actually really even know who they are. Like, if I saw them out, I would probably recognize them now. But before having watched this podcast, I'm not even sure I would have recognized Ned if I saw him out. And I definitely would not have recognized her.
It's ironic because at the same time, I think what the internet wants from you is to be a one-dimensional character.
How so?
Well, if you, I think, there's if you make TikToks as like a certain persona or doing a certain joke, if you deviate from that joke, oftentimes your like engagement will plummet. Like people kind of want to like just see it's like, oh, it's like you're a stereotype. You're kind of like that person, and then I guess I noticed that in my own work. It's like the things that consistently drew people in were adorable family posts or talking about my wife, and then producers lean into that and like craft situations for me. And I don't know, over time I felt super pigeonholed and just like I had to fulfill this one like quadrant in a foursome to just be this like, kind of caricature.
You're like put in a box.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to like be a full person with nuance on the internet. There's always sort of a performance layer.
Did he just say he was put into the box of being a good husband? Like, I get what he's trying to say, I guess, but he's like talking about my wife, and he's like, yeah, he was the wife guy, I guess. But, okay. I don't know if it's being put in a box asking you to be like a good husband, I think that's a little different, but maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. That could just be on me.
I feel the same way. I think that by kind of moving forward more as individuals, we'll each be able to kind of be the best version of ourselves and to kind of discover maybe parts of ourselves that are less to the forefront when you're like really in a relationship. But that's for us as individuals. But for us, as co-parents, I hope that we raise boys of honesty and integrity and are happy and feel loved. And I hope that we're a team who tells each other what's on our mind, even if it's not always, hard to say or easy to hear. That's what I hope for us, is to have a parenting partnership based on laughter.
Dude, we get it. We get it. We get it. Oh my god, we get it. We get it. Oh my god, he's still going. He doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, bro. There's like a minute left in this. I'm gonna put us all out of our misery at this point. That is Ned Fulmer's podcast, A Conversation with Ariel Fulmer. Girl, one thing, I know it's annoying, I know it's a bitch to do. Get your maiden name back, okay? You wanna reclaim your identity? Get your maiden name back, babe. She never looked back. Do the paperwork. Get your maiden name back. Yeah, that's all I got. That's it. I'm gonna end this here because this was long and a mess. And again, I think that Ned was being, somewhat genuine at times, but not completely at other times. And a lot of it just seemed like him agreeing for the sake of, for the sake of being like, I'm a good man. Which I'm sure he is. I mean, I'm sure he's putting in the effort and the work to make this up to her. They seem to be on good terms, so that's good for them. I hope that he is really trying to make amends and, they can continue to co-parent and have a healthy relationship going forward. All that being said, this was interesting. Again, I'm not sure we all needed to see this. I'm not sure whose idea it was. I'm not sure how this whole conversation started where they were like, let's do this. It was definitely awkward at times, and I couldn't do it. They are stronger than me. I'll leave it at that. So if you liked this, if you want to see more stuff like this, please give this video a like so I know that you liked it and you do actually want to see more stuff like this. And I will try and do more silly shit, more influencer shit, I guess, more internet shit, because sometimes we need a break from the politics, I guess. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know what you think of Ned in general. Do you think I'm off base with my assessment of him? And hit that subscribe button because I like it when numbers go up. You like it when numbers go up. So help me make that number go up. And that's all I got for you. So thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Free Palestine and goodbye.